Hi everyone, Rich here. Well, the numbers are in for April for the Edmonton Real Estate Board. So what I want to do, I want to show you what's happening January through the end of April. And then what I also want to do is I want to show you what's going on in terms of prices, days on market, which way are they moving. And the reason I want to do this is because this is a type of information you should be using when you're meeting with a buyer, when you're meeting with a seller, because remember, your job as a salesperson is to help them make a decision that is in their best interest. And the easiest way to do that is to give them all the information so they can see clearly what it is that you can see. And then chances are, hopefully, they're obviously going to come to exactly the same decision. So let's have a look at some numbers. So if we look at January through April, you can see sales have been steadily going up. We were 673 in January, 778 in February, roughly around 1,000 in March, and just over 1,100 in April. But what about active listings? Well, same thing. Active listings are going up as well. 4,500 in January, 5,000 in February, almost 6,000 in March, and almost 6,500 in April. Now, what does all this mean? That means your adjustment is going to be in your months of inventory. Now, keeping in mind, months of inventory, that determines if prices are going up, prices are going down, right? It's just supply and demand. So if we look at this, your months of inventory in January was 6.8. February went down to 6.5. Good news. Went down to 5.9 in March, and of course down to 5.7 in April. So really, your benchmark price stayed pretty close to the same. It's moved marginally, but not that much. But here's what's interesting. Have a look at your days on market. Now, what you're going to notice is that the more months of inventory you have, right, then the longer it's going to stay, houses are going to stay in the market. So when we had 6.8 months of inventory in January, we were 77 days. 6.5 months of inventory, we were 64 days, we were less. Inventory goes down again to 5.9, we're at 53, and then it went down to 5.7, we're at 54. So you can see this is pretty close, that remains pretty close, but you can see the whole way things start to move here, which is a really cool conversation for you to be able to have with buyers and sellers. But let's look at this. Let's look at what happened in April of 18 to April of 17. You can see sales were 1,130 in 18 and 1,133 in 17. So really the same number. Active listings, we were 6,400 in April and 5,600, which means our active listings were up by 15%. What does it mean? It means your months of inventory went up. And if your months of inventory went up year after year, what happens to your price, right? That means your price, if you got more inventory, your price should go down. You had 5.7 months of inventory in 2018. You had 4.9 in April of 2017, and look what happened to your average price. Okay, 369 this year, 381 last year, down by 3%. So anyway, the numbers don't lie. And you can have such great conversations, powerful conversations with people. But here's what you're going to need to do. Don't generalize too much. So sometimes, I'm giving you, the city of Edmonton numbers. But what would happen if it was a detached property or a condo that was in a certain geographical area? Then what you probably need to do is you need to go to the board, you need to look up at the statistics and find out what is going on in that particular area or of that property type. So again, let's look at this. Single family, you can see average price is $439, right? You can also see we've got 48 days on the market right here. Condo is $247, right? 65 days in the market. So there's more days in the market. So what do we know about condos? They have much more inventory. We come down to duplexes. You can see 333, 52 days in the market. Obviously, we've got less days in the market. Single family is going to be more expensive than condo. But this is where you can actually start to have conversations with people and help them understand what's going on. You obviously have a lot more inventory in condo apartments right now. Prices in that area are probably weakening a little bit. You look at detached. Detached prices are probably, relatively flat, except for maybe very inexpensive detached. They could be still going up. More expensive detached, probably months of inventory is a little bit higher, which means your prices might be just weakening or maybe around the same in that area. But this is a type of content that you need to bring to people. See, this isn't information, this is insightful. This is actually showing them what the information means. And when you can sit down and have a conversation and start to break things right down for people, then quite often it becomes very, very clear in the decisions that we need to make to move forward. So, hope that was helpful. And remember, everybody, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.